ठीक है, अभी तो लाइट ना जाए बस।
लाइट चली गई तो हॉटस्पॉट कनेक्टेड है।
वो मन गया था, स्विच करना पड़ेगा।
है कनेक्टेड नहीं है।
नहीं, वैसे हाँ ऑन किया हुआ है, कनेक्ट हो जाए।
ऊपर करना है
क्या? नहीं नहीं, कुछ नहीं। Good morning, my dear children. A happy morning to all of you. A very special day today. We are going to dedicate this day to our parents. Just all of you close your beautiful eyes. And you know that when I ask this, close your beautiful eyes, I mean that you should be sitting up straight. Your backbone should be straight, your feet should be touching the ground, and a proper decorum should be there around you. Just close your eyes and thank God for your beautiful parents. They have given you life, and now they're trying to give you their life. They work so much for you. Show your gratitude to them. Pray to God to give them long, healthy life. You know, children, you need to respect your parents. Remember, respecting it is a very big ticket to success. It is a two-way process. You give respect, you get respect. Is respect a ticket to success? A short story. There was a father and a son. The father used to always keep on telling his son to switch off the lights when he is not in the room, switch off the fans when he's going out of the room, asking him to get up early, be hardworking. Every time, switch off the lights, switch off the fans, get up early, it's good for you, be hardworking, be hardworking. Listening to these words every time, the boy got irritated, angry, used to get aggressive. This boy grew up with these words always echoing in his ears. Switch off the lights, fans, get up early, be hardworking. Not understanding much, but somewhere it must be going inside. He grew up. There were campus recruitments in the college. There was a very big renowned company came to the college offering six-figure salary as starting. Very, very lucrative offer. And the first round took place, and this boy and many others cleared the round. Everybody had the knowledge of the subject. The second round was of interview. The boy went into the place where the interview was to take place. He was sitting there in the waiting room along with other candidates. And the interview was taking place at the 6th floor. When his turn came and he was being called, he went to the lift. The lift was out of order. He was a little irritated, but then he saw the stairs. He started climbing the stairs. When he was climbing the stairs, he saw that the lights on every floor were switched on. His father's words started echoing in his mind. Switch off the lights, switch off the lights, and he switched off the lights. He remembered, I have to go up the stairs because Papa says that, you need to be a hardworking child. And he went up. He reached the 6th floor with great difficulty, and then he knocked the door. He was welcomed by the interviewers, and they said, "Gentlemen, take the seat." When he sat there, they said, "This job belongs to you." He was so happy. How come you have not interviewed me? How come you have given me this job? The main person in the panel said that, "Dear, we have been watching you. There is a camera in the staircase. And deliberately, the lift has been switched off. It has been put out of order. Board has been put. We selected you because you have those soft skills. You have that civic sense. You have the concern for the organization in which you're going to work. You are hardworking. You're empathetic. All these things are there in you." And what was the response of the person, this boy? Tears trickled down his eyes. He remembered his father's words, what he has been doing all his life, and how he has been retaliating. He has been irritated and angry and has been showing so much of aggression. He went back home and he hugged his father. He said, "For all good things, all good habits you have taught me, Father, today I got this excellent job." So children, your parents are your best well-wishers. So remember to thank them every time. They have not born in the Google age, but they have helped you through and educated you. You are the Google age children. So first, your parents, they gave you your life. They have given you your life, your birth on this beautiful earth. But then they tried to give you their life. So make it worth, be obedient, respect them, children, respect them. So that's the lesson of the day today, children. And open your eyes if they were closed. Now we move on to our class. This is the instructions for you. Turn off the audio video. I don't know why you people switch on the video in between. It might be happening, by chance, but it should not happen. This shows how much disciplined you are while taking the class. I am going to write a note down the names of the children whose video switches on by mistake. And that shows that you people are not that careful. Please check your rename. Any child whose name is not there with the admission number, class, and section, I've asked the teachers to please give me their names and you'll get a call from me today. And please make sure your any kind of a queries, please do, your teachers are there for you every time, anytime, please do call, or you can please mail us your problems. Okay. And please maintain the decorum and discipline. Every time we are saying this, why it is not going inside. Okay, maintain the decorum and discipline of the virtual classes. Most of you are doing it. Excellent, children. We carry on. Now, a very quick revision for what we have done. It is very important, children. By now, I am expecting you people have made a flow chart which makes you revise. Put it up on the near your study table. Make a flow chart today and send a pic to me. And it is a homework for all of you. Make a flow chart of marketing management whole chapter and send it to me. I want to see this, all these recapitulation which we are doing every day. It is there in your books or not, in your on your table or not, on your register or not. So here comes your recap, children, of your topics which we have done. What is the market? We know this, it's a place where buyer and seller they meet and conduct buying and selling activities. I'm going to be a little fast, children, because this is the 7th, 8th, 9th time I'm repeating it. Fine. This is types of market we talked of. In original sense, we said it can be bifurcated on the basis of product, use, geographical areas, types of buyers, and quantity purchased in the market. But we had talked about the traditional concept, but we are concerned with the modern meaning of marketing. It is basically the combination of the actual and potential buyer wherever they are. You pick those people up, you make that group, and that is your market. So it is the actual and potential market buyers, potential buyers, or your consumers who constitute market. What is the meaning of marketing? We said marketing word means related to the consumer's needs and satisfaction of consumer needs. So marketing will be related to identifying the needs of the people of the target market and finding out ways and means to satisfy it. Then we said, what is the proper definition given by Philip Kotler? See, children, there is a difference between meaning and definition. Okay, so what's the definition given by Philip Kotler? It is a social process in which the groups and individual obtain what they need and want by creating offering and exchanging goods of value. Now, this is the definition of marketing. From this definition, we had come out with the features of marketing. What were those? Fulfilling needs and wants, creating market offering, totality of all 4 P's, and then customer value, a person getting satisfaction as compared to the price he's paying, and exchange mechanism. Then we have talked about what can be marketed. We said it is not only the product and services, it can be a place, it can be an idea which can be marketed, even the person during elections, remember? Then we have talked about the philosophies, marketing management philosophies. I said this is also known as concepts. Now, what are those concepts? There can be production philosophy, there can be product philosophy. Production philosophy focuses on availability and affordability of product. Then came product philosophy, focusing only on product, that is the quality, features, style of the product, design of the product. Then came selling philosophy, where marketers started selling goods by hook or crook, using all aggressive techniques in order to sell the product. Then came marketing philosophy. Marketing philosophy is that you understand the demands of the people, produce the goods accordingly, and then ensure, is the customer happy? But remember, marketing philosophy had some problem, that is societal. There was some problem that they were just understanding the demand and producing the good. So in society, there are people who might be demanding wrong products, and you are producing those goods. So it was necessary that goods should be such which are satisfying the ethical values are going to be satisfied, ecological values are satisfied. That become societal marketing philosophy. You should be able to identify from the case study which philosophy is being talked of if the question asks so. Okay. Now, from the marketing philosophy, because the chapter is related to marketing, we need to talk about what are the basic thing which has to be done in marketing. There are 5 pillars of marketing. What are those, children? You identify the target market. In the end, if I get time, I'm going to show you a video on target market, why it is considered to be so important. All 4 P's of marketing mix will change. So first, it is very important you see that which is your target market, whom you're going to focus in order to produce the product. Understanding, then understand the needs and wants of that target market. Then you're going to produce the product. You're going to do branding, labeling, packaging. You're going to develop the product. You're going to make it enter into the market. You will ensure that it satisfies the needs and wants, and you will do all this at profits. Don't forget this last point. Okay. Next is marketing mix, comprises of 4 P's. You know that it is product, price, place, and promotion. Place is also known as physical distribution. So there should not be any confusion in your mind. We started with 4 P's, and the first P was product mix. Now the product mix says first is branding. It comprises of branding, labeling, packaging. Branding is what we said. We had talked about different things of branding. Branding is what? It is giving identification to the product through the name, through the symbol, or it is design. Something which is going to give the identification to the product, that is branding. We had talked about different terms which might be asked. Remember, one single word might change the meaning. So what is brand? It may be a name, symbol, design. What is brand name? It is something which can be pronounced. What is brand mark? Which cannot be pronounced, which cannot be utterable, which cannot be spoken, but it can be identified. That is a brand mark. And when it becomes a trademark, brand name or brand mark, it becomes a trademark when legal protection is being given to the product brand. Okay, we say that it is a trademark and nobody can copy, no competitor. Qualities of a good brand name. You want to keep a name as a marketing manager, you are asked. So what are the qualities you are going to keep in mind while keeping the name of your product? They say keep certain things in mind. What is it? It should be short name. It should be simple to pronounce. It can be suggestive, telling about the features and the qualities of the product. It has to be distinctive, which is totally different from the competitor's product. It should have a staying power. That is, it is not going to get obsolete and outdated with passing of time. It should be versatile. It can be changed. It should be having umbrella type of branding, adaptability to the changes according to the, you want to do labeling, you want to do packaging, all these things it should be adaptable. Then it should be protected legally. Protection should be provided legally. That is, your brand name should be legally protected. It should be registered, right? So that is quality of a good brand name. Then we talked about, is branding considered to be advantageous? Yes, it is advantageous to marketers as well as to customer. Don't overlap. You should understand what the question is asking, whether they're talking about the advantages of branding to marketers or customers. To marketers, it enables making product differentiation from the competitor's product. It helps in advertising and display programs. You'll be able to put up the advertisings and the display programs easily. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult with the generic name. Differential pricing is possible. You can quote a higher price as compared to the competitors, and it becomes easy to introduce new products for the marketer under umbrella branding. So these are the marketer, he can do that. He is enjoying these benefits. But what are the benefits enjoyed by the customer, by us, we people? We are able to identify the product by its name. We go ask the brand name and the product is provided to us. From the brand, when it is a brand, it ensures quality and gives confidence to the customer that I am buying a good quality product. And it becomes a status symbol. You are being accepted in the society according to the brands which are being used by your peer, right? So these are the advantages of branding. We talked about packaging. Packaging is the covering, container, or wrapper. There are three levels of packaging: primary, secondary, and transportation. Then we have what are the functions performed by packaging: product identification, product protection is being provided, use of the product is facilitated for the convenience of the customer, the changes are being done, and product promotion. Some ads, add-ons can be given through the packaging itself. In the packet, you get everything. In the Lux soap, there is going to come some, a gold pendant you will find. So that's a product promotion they are doing. So package is saying that. Fine. So packaging is, we are also going to talk about the importance of packaging. Rising standard of health and sanitation. Because of that, packaging has become very important these days. Self-service outlets are there. Because of that, packaging is also known as a silent salesman is there. Innovational opportunities are there. You can find out different ways of packaging. We are finding different ways in which the goods are being packed. New ways are coming which are more consumer friendly, and price differentiation is possible through packaging. Better packaging you can, because if your quality packaging you are giving, you can charge higher price also. What are the functions of labeling now? Labeling is what? It is a mark, it is a information which is given on the product. That is a label. Now, what does label do? Label describes the product and specifies the content. It can be very simple as a tag, and it can be very complicated also. So it tells about the product. It helps you identify the product or the brand name, which is being mentioned there on the label with the help of label. It helps in grading, telling you the different variety of products which are offered in under a single brand name. It helps to promote the sales. It is given 20% extra or 50% extra or one thing free with other. It is being said it is helping you to promote the sale. It is written there. So it's printed there. It provides information required by law. No other no other product mix element is providing this. So it provides information required by law. Anything which is to be told to the consumer before using the product, that can be mentioned in the label. And the government wants that this statutory warnings should be mentioned on the label, right? Then it comes, what are the factors affecting the third P, second P, it is price mix. Now, what is the price mix, children? Price mix is basically you determine the price of the product once the goods is produced. Very important how you are going to determine the price. We will take the cost into consideration. Cost is made up of fixed cost plus variable cost plus semi-variable cost. And your price should be higher than the cost. So this is the floor price which the marketer will keep for his product. Then we are also going to study the utility and demand, that how much beneficial the product is, that is how much of satisfaction you are getting from the product. And there is going to depend, demand is going to determine the price. Elastic, the more elastic the demand is, lesser price has to be. The lesser elastic it is, that is, it is not going to change with the price rise. You can raise the price. So it is inversely related to demand. Extent of competition. Extent of competition, higher the competition, lower is going to be the price of the product. Fine. Government and legal regulations. Government is sometimes is going to declare certain goods as essential products or necessity goods, and a marketer cannot increase the price over that. So government and legal regulations are to be followed while fixing the price. If government says that this is the highest price you can quote for sugar or for kerosene, for these ration products, yeah, the person cannot sell it at a higher price. So there is a cap which is laid down by the government. So we have to, while fixing the price, we have to see whether it is a necessity good declared by the government. We have to keep price accordingly. So there are various pricing objectives. We said whether you want to have, grab over the market, or you want to enter into competition, or you want to maintain a quality. It depends upon you. So depend upon how much you have spent on that particular thing, what you want to do, what is your main aim. So according to that, you're going to fix the price. Then the last point was marketing methods used. If you're using a very aggressive techniques, if you're having good salesperson, good sales force, and a promotion techniques are very aggressive, in that case you can keep your price high. Okay, so these are the factors. In price, you're doing only one thing, that is the factors. So this should be on your tips, children. You should be learning it by heart nicely. Then we came to physical distribution. We did it in the last lecture. I want you to be very attentive in this, children. Price mix is what? Making the goods available at the right time, at the right place, and in the right quantity. If a person is going to a shop and is not getting that product on that shop the very moment he is asking for, it means the physical distribution of the marketeer is poor. The person is going to shift to the competitor's product, and if he likes that product, he will leave your brand. So it is very important that your logistics, your physical distribution, that is, it has to be very strong. So there are two basic decisions you have to take in order to ensure that the goods are reaching the right place at the right time where it is being demanded. So two things are, one is the channel of distribution, how many channels of distribution you're going to use, and other decision is related to inventory managing or order processing, warehousing, and transportation. These are the elements of physical distribution. Then we talked about the channels. The answers I got from you when I asked the question, they were mostly wrong. Sorry to say this, children, but it was mostly wrong because you did not get this concept nicely. Now listen to this carefully. I'm going to give a little bit more time on this. We said there are two types of channel. I repeat, there are two types of channel. What are they? One is direct channel and the second is indirect channel. Direct channel means no middlemen in between. That is direct channel. And what is indirect channel? In which there are middlemen. If one middleman is there, it is one level channel. If two middlemen are there, it means it is two level channel. If three middlemen are there, it means three level channel. I repeat, there are two types of channels of distribution for the marketer. Either he is going to directly sell it to the customer without any middleman, which is known as direct channel, and the other one is indirect channel. If you know he is using indirect channel, you should know how many channels he will be taking in indirect channel. Means one level, how many levels? 1, 2, or 3. So there was we had shown you a diagram, direct channel, this is the thing, no middleman, directly manufacturer selling it to the customer. Then this is the example we had given it to you. Then we have talked about indirect channel. Indirect channel is going to comprise of one level channel in which who is the middleman? Only one. Two main people, manufacturer producing good, consumer consuming good. These people who are making it available. So only one person means one level. Two person means two people in between, two intermediaries, middlemen, wholesaler and retailer. Three levels means agent, wholesaler, and retailer, depending on the product you are dealing. If you're using a normal consumer good, this is fine. But if there is a manufacturer who is producing one wholesale, is producing one specific line of a product, and there is a lot of demand, he is going to have agents in between, whether north zone or south zone. So this was a diagram we had talked of, that this is a direct channel and these are indirect channels. So one direct channel and three indirect channels. So don't get confused when you're talking about channels. These are channels of distribution. Don't get confused with the levels of packaging. Children tend to get confused. Okay, these are channels of distribution of goods, making the goods available to the customers. The second thing which you should be doing in physical distribution in order to ensure that the goods are there at the right time, at the right place, in the right quantity, it is four things: order processing, transportation, warehousing, and inventory control. We said this. Order processing is, now listen, what is order processing? When the customer gives the order to the retailer, retailer gives the order to the wholesaler, wholesaler gives the order to the manufacturer, manufacturer produces that good and give it to the wholesaler, wholesaler to retailer, and retailer to consumer. Now that has to be very quick and accurate. If it is not quick and accurate, your physical distribution is going to be poor. The thing has not reached in the hands of the consumer. So order processing has to be accurate and quick. Fine. Then second thing was transportation. You have to ensure when the goods are going to move from the manufacturer to the wholesaler, how they're going to move. The hindrance of place has to be removed, and that is going to be removed by transportation. So you are going to see that what kind of a product you are dealing in. If it is somewhere nearby, you're going to use roads. If it is something very bulky, it can be rail. If it is out of the country, it can be waterways. Or it is going to be liquid, it has to be pipelines. So depending upon the product you're dealing in, you will select the transportation means. Third is warehousing, how you're going to keep the product, how you're going to arrange the product in the warehouse so that the goods are made available as and when required. You are going to store the goods. You're going to keep it safe till they are being consumed or till they are being demanded. But you have to make sure your cost does not exceed the satisfaction you are giving to the consumer. So your cost should not be too much. So you should be striking a balance between the cost and the consumer satisfaction or service you are providing. Both should be there, fine. Less cost and high consumer service. And the fourth one was inventory. How much of stock you should keep. Now, how much stock you're going to keep, that depends upon four things. Level of customer service. If you want to give a good service, you have to keep a higher level of inventory. If you want to maintain accuracy, if you're very accurate, I know my things are going to come with a snap of a finger, or just with a one phone call, or it is going to take a week or so, or it is going to take a month, and accordingly I am going to place an order. I'm going to keep the things. If the order is going to come just on a phone call, I'm going to keep very less inventory. So how much you're going to keep, it depends upon how much accurate your calculation is. Then is responsiveness. It also depends upon how much time it takes to place an order and the goods to come back to you. So you're putting an order to the supplier, and supplier is able to give you the product within, say, 1 day or 2 days. Accordingly, you are going to keep the inventory. Then is cost, very important. The more inventory you're going to keep with you, the more costly it is going to be. So it is cost of, and these are the components of physical distribution. Now, the fourth and the last P which we are going to talk of, that is promotion. Now, promotion is what, children? The goods have been produced, the brand name has been kept, the labels have been done, packaging is ready, and the goods have been priced properly, keeping all the factors into consideration. The goods have reached to the retailer, but still the customer is not coming to buy. Why? Why the customer is not coming? Because the customer doesn't know that this product is there in the market you're producing and selling. But where the customer knows about it, the goods are moving here and there, the goods have been produced and priced, and everything, labeling has been done. But where the customer does not know, he's not aware, he is ignorant about the product which has been launched in the market. So what is promotion, children? Promotion is a type of a communication which has twin objective. One is they inform the customer that the product has come into the market. Along with that, they are going to persuade, attract people that you buy this product. So that is promotion of the product. One is informing. First is informing the customer, and second one is persuading the customer. That is promotion. So what is promotion, children? It takes two things into consideration: informing the customer about the product and persuading the customer to buy the product. That is promotion. But it is not a simple process. Promotion comprises of various tools. Now, which are those tools which are used by the marketer to promote his product? That is informing his customer as well as ensuring that they are convinced to buy the product, persuading them, luring them to buy the product. Sitting there in his office, the marketer wants to lure the customer, so he has to use certain tools. Now, what are those tools? These are the four tools which are being used by the marketer: advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, and public relation. When we talk this, it will become more clear. So, what are these elements, children? I repeat: advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, and public relation. Now, these topics are very important because we are heading towards the end of the chapter. So, this has to be done very nicely, children. I want all the children to attend these lecture, please. Now, talking about the first tool of promotion out of four tools, which are advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, and public relation. Advertising. What is advertising? Now, advertising is let me talk about when you give an ad in the newspaper. What does a marketer does? He goes to a newspaper agency, he makes an ad and he says, publish this ad. He says, okay, you give this much of money for so much of column of say this much or this much centimeter, this by this, 10 by 5 or 10 by 12 centimeters, you are going to be charged this much. So the agency is going to charge that much of money and they are going to print the ad. Similarly, it happens with the television also. They are going to say that we are going to, telecast your ad. How many times you're going to telecast? Say they are going to charge money for it. So advertising is a paid form. What is it, children? It is a paid form of communication, presentation. First is it is a paid form, that is you pay for it. If you want your product ad to be there in the newspaper or in the radio or in the television, you are going to pay for it. Okay, the marketer is going to, it has to be paid. Second thing is it is impersonal. There is no face-to-face contact. It is not in the dialogue form. It is in the monologue form. That is advertising. And the third thing is it is by an identified sponsor. When you say this identified sponsor, what does that mean, children? Identified sponsor means the marketer who is giving the ad, his name. So three features, they come out from this definition. Advertising refers to any paid form of impersonal presentation and promotion of goods and services or ideas by an identified sponsor. When you say this, the first feature come out is it is a paid form. I told you paid form means the advertiser, the person, the marketer who is going to advertise, they have to pay for the advertisement, to the media, for the space they are going to use in that newspaper. Okay, or for the time they are going to take for reflecting their advertisement. Second thing is it is impersonal. Impersonal means that there is no direct face-to-face contact between the prospective buyers and the advertiser. Okay, so there is no face-to-face communication. It is a monologue. It is not a dialogue. It's a monologue. One person, that is only TV is speaking, and it is not that somebody will come out and start saying something. It is not going to happen like this, that actually the head is going to come out and say, okay, deal done. No, it is impersonal. There is no face-to-face contact. And then the third feature is it is done by an identified sponsor, that is identified individual. His name is coming. Ad is coming. You should know whose ad it is. Who is the marketer? Who is the advertiser? Which is the brand which is being talked of? Who is going to pay for it? So the sponsor who is there, who is paying for it, that is an identified person, that is a known company, that is a known person. Okay, it's a known brand. So it has to be by an identified sponsor. Otherwise, what ad are you doing of which product? Got it? So advertisement is what? It is the most common tool of promotion which is being used out of the four. Advertising using print media, using television, using radio. It can be any form in internet, anything. So web publications can be done in this. So, but what are the features of advertising? It is paid form, it is impersonal, and it is done by an identified sponsor. When you say this now, these are the various medias which you're going to use in order to advertise your product. It can be a newspaper, magazines, television, radio. These are the things which can be used to advertise your products. The second tool we will do later. First, we need to talk about little bit of merits and limitations you should know about advertising. First thing is, quickly we'll do this, mass reach. Advertisement is going to cover a large number of people. Wherever the newspaper will go, wherever the television is being seen, that is going to have that ad. So it is going to reach full country. It is going to reach full area wherever the newspaper people are reading it. So it is having a mass reach. Second is, it is very expressive. How now these days computer graphics, computer designs are there. Now advertisement have become, they are able to portray emotions so well. Special effects are there. Simple products, simple messages, they become so lucrative, so attractive. So because the advertisement have become so expressive in themselves, there are such good scripts of advertisements. If I get time in the next lecture, I'll show you some beautiful ads, video of some beautiful ads. Okay, the best ads. And then it enhances customer satisfaction. Why? Because the customer feels very happy. He's using the good which is being advertised. Means that he is able to, he's using a branded, a good quality product whose ad is coming in the television or in the newspaper. It's not a local thing. So a customer feels satisfied. He knows, he's assured that he is using good quality product. It is economical. Now listen to this. When we say this, children, it is economical. It means that whatever cost you're incurring on advertisement, as compared to that, the number of people which it is covering, it is huge. So if you compare, if you take out the per unit cost, number of people, those who are seeing your ad, and the amount of cost you have borne for this ad, it is going to be a large number of people being tapped. So per unit cost turns out to be very less. So when I'm saying that you have to pay, it is a paid sponsor is there. It is a paid form. Remember, otherwise as compared to other forms, especially personal selling, it is economical. I repeat this, it is economical as compared to personal selling or other things, other medias. Let's talk about the limitations. It is less forceful. Why? Because there is nobody standing. If Shah Rukh Khan or Amitabh Bachchan or our Prime Minister, they are saying something, it is up to you. You might switch over the channel because you are not in front. If you are in front of them, you never will dare to even take off your eyes from them. But it is less forceful because it is impersonal. So it does not, there is no compulsion for the person, for the prospective buyer to pay attention to the advertisement. The newspapers, you might be putting a foot on that, or you might be wrapping and throwing it here and there, being very insensitive that whose picture is there on the newspaper. And it's less forceful because there is no dialogue form, there is no personal touch, there is no personal interaction. That is why it is less forceful, lack of feedback. When you are going to do the ad, you don't know when the feedback is going to come. But when you go to a person's house personally to sell the product, you are going to know whether the person is buying the product or not. You go to the person, knock their door, ask them to, you tell them the benefits of the product. tell them how the product is to be used, and they buy the product. At the end of the day, you know how many products you have sold. So it does not happen in advertisement. It happens in personal selling, not in advertisement. So there is lack of feedback. You don't come to know immediately or accurately whether the people they are liking the product or not. You'll come to know after a month that now the sales have started increasing. Okay, it means the people are now adapting our product. So there is immediate lack of feedback is there. You don't get immediate feedback as it happens in personal selling. It is inflexible, it cannot be changed. Once the ad is made, it is going to come for a year, maybe 2 years, and it is a hit. It might go on for years and years. Washing powder Nirma, it is going on for years and years. Your parents have been seeing this, you are seeing it. So there are certain ads which keep on going. This advertisement is working, and there is no need to change, and they don't use change it frequently, depending upon the need of the person. No. Whereas personal selling, a person is there in front of you, he'll come to know what you want, and he's going to change his techniques accordingly. He'll judge what you want. So advertisement is inflexible, even though personal selling may be. Why I'm saying this side by side personal selling? Because we'll be talking about the difference between the two. Okay. It is low effectiveness is there. Why? So many companies are giving their ads of their brands. If you're having TV, so you're getting so many brands. TV are there, LG is there, Panasonic is there, Sony is there. All these companies are going to be having. You are getting confused. So the effectiveness goes, because there is so much of volume of advertisement is there. It is, and too much, and the customer, it doesn't know what to do, and the advertisement is not making people heard. So you are sometimes not hearing. You say ऐसे बोलते हैं, they speak it, it is not true, and people start ignoring. So it's not that effective, children. So these are the merits and limitations of advertisement you should know about, right? Now we come to personal selling, because we will talk about the difference. What is personal selling? Personal selling means you are personally going to the person's house, you identify the target market, you go to the door, you knock the bell, and you say, I have come here to sell this particular thing. Before going to anybody's house, you identify the target market. Now, this is something which is an oral presentation, children. You speak, you convince people that you buy this product. You have seen people coming door to door and selling certain products. They are, if you open the door, they start telling you all the lucrative offers they have. And if you need that product, you will say, okay, just tell me more about these products. So there are oral presentations are being given. Conversation is there. It is in a dialogue form. So you go to the prospective customer. What do you mean by prospective customer? Current, where the customer which have current, not that current. It means those who are going to become actual customers. So they are prospective customers. You have to see who are the prospective customers. Now, prospective customers, suppose a person is selling medicines. These medical representatives are there. They will not come to your house selling medicine. And you will be feeling offended. Why you're coming? Do you think we people are sick? So they will go only to dispensaries, they'll go to hospitals, they'll go to clinics. So they are going to go to these places. First, they identify the target market, then they go there. Then they tell about the product. They, tell all the positives of the product, and they sell their product. So what do they do? Personal selling is there, dialogue form is there, face-to-face interaction is there with the people. Can you see it is a two-way communication between the buyers, the prospective customer, and the salesperson? Now, from this discussion of ours, or the explanation which is given above, there are two features which are being highlighted about personal selling. One, it is in a personal form, means you go personally and tell people about the product. And second thing is, you develop relationship with people, a good rapport with the people. That is why, because once they buy your product and they like that product, they will always call you up and say, please come and drop this product more to us. So you develop a very good relationship or a rapport with those people, with these personal sellers. the salesmen. So this is personal selling. Now, we will be talking about the difference between advertising and personal selling. It is an important question because children tend to get confused. Let's take one by one each point. Advertisement is impersonal. Yes, because there is no personal interaction. Personal selling is personal form because it is in the dialogue form. There is going to be personal touch. They are going to interact with each other. Advertisement is going to give standardized message. Anytime you switch on the TV, you're getting that ad of that company, of that brand. It will always be same ad, standardized for the year. Whereas in case of personal selling, the salesperson is considered to be a good salesperson if he is able to identify that what do you want, and he's going to adjust his sales talk accordingly. So his sales talks are going to be adjusted accordingly. Advertising is inflexible. That is, it cannot be changed. It is not changed frequently. It can be changed, but it is not changed frequently because it goes, a lot of money goes in making an ad, then printing an ad. So it is, once it is made, standardized, it is going to be there. It cannot be changed. But personal selling is highly flexible. It can be changed according to the requirement. Then it reaches masses. The number of people, once you give an ad in the television, and lakhs of people have switched on the television on a particular time, prime time, and your ad goes to lakhs and lakhs of people. But what about this personal selling? A person can cover how many people in a day? 5, 10, maximum to maximum 15, not more than that. So limited number of people can be covered in case of personal selling, whereas advertisement reaches masses. Low cost per person. See children, it is saying per unit cost is less. Why? Because the cost which is incurred as comparison to the number of people it is covering, it turns out to be, when you divide that, it turns out to be very low cost per unit. And here it is high cost. Why? Because you have a sales team. You're paying them salaries and number of people covered is very less. So cost per person is going to be very high. Short time. It takes ad. It is a 10-second ad. It is a 17-second ad. But nothing will happen in personal selling with 17-second or 10-second. It will take minimum, if the person start convincing you and talks to you, it might take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. Depends upon the product you're dealing in. If it's an industrial product, which generally is when you do personal selling, it's going to take a lot of time to convince those people and tell the advantages. Then use of mass media is there. You can use print, you can use different ways, whereas in this you have to use sales staff. Then it lacks direct feedback, is not there, but here you get immediate feedback. You build the interest of the consumer, and here you are not able to build the interest of the, it is a lot of struggle. People generally don't even open the doors. So this is used as the awareness stage when the new product is launched. At that time, personal selling has been done. People don't know about the product. You need to go and tell them, teach them. So that is awareness stage. Useful for ultimate consumer who know those who are using it. For the main users, consumer products, ads are considered to be very beneficial, whereas these are used for industrial products, industrial buyers. Okay. So this is for the day, children. Time is more. I wanted to show you the video, but it is late today. I'll surely show you